Hey guys, JamesMCD's Reviews here. Welcome to another episode of the Cinematic Bucket List series. And today, in celebration of its 20th anniversary and with the release of its sequel, I'm going to be taking a look at The Devil Wears Prada, released in 2006, directed by David Frankel. This movie stars Anne Hathaway as an aspiring journalist who gets a job at a fashion magazine as the assistant to their ruthless, overbearing editor-in-chief, played by Meryl Streep. At first, she is way out of her depth, but over time, she gets sucked into the glitz and glamour of the fashion world and the hell that lies underneath it. If you couldn't tell, this isn't the type of movie that I go out of my way to watch, but I was curious to check this out, one, because the new one was coming out, but also because apparently in the lineup of chick flicks that are out there, this is one of the few that has a bit more of a wider appeal. So I watched it, and I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty good. It's obviously not without problems. It has its fair share of mid-2000s cheese, and there's a lot of pretty far-fetched things that you kind of have to accept going in. Like, we're honestly supposed to believe that Anne Hathaway is this fat, ugly loser who is totally out of place at this fashion magazine, when in reality, she's like the second prettiest Anne on the planet. You can probably guess who number one is. Also, while I obviously don't know anything about the fashion world, I'm gonna assume that this is a very cartoony portrayal of the fashion world. But I'm able to overlook those things, one, because it sets a very consistent tone and runs with it, and for the most part is very entertaining. And two, because the characters are so engaging and keep the movie as grounded as a movie like this can be. The characters are what kept me invested throughout the whole thing. I liked their personalities, I liked their interactions, and I like that they weren't just one-note stereotypes, which they easily could have been. They all go through some semblance of an arc or a change that is very obvious, but it's also very effective. I like the dynamics that form between Andy and Emily and Andy and Nigel. They both kind of begrudgingly take her under their wing and teach her how to survive, and then as time goes on, they grow closer to Andy and come to rely on her the same way she relied on them. I really liked that, and I really just liked those characters in general. Stanley Tucci and Emily Blunt were so great. By modern standards, I feel like those characters could come off as kind of shticky, particularly Stanley Tucci's character. But it towed that line just enough. While I'm on the performances, Anne Hathaway and Meryl Streep do great. It was fun watching Hathaway have to bend over backwards to please her boss. She played up the shenanigans really well, but it was also satisfying not only seeing her come into her own and start thriving, to put it lightly, but also when she finally wakes up and realizes her worth. Meryl Streep as the boss is iconic for a reason. I love how everyone immediately panics when they hear that she's coming, and there's two things that I really appreciated about her character. One, she doesn't play the role like a cartoon. She has some cartoony attitudes and mannerisms, but she remains very reserved. She doesn't burst into a room, she doesn't even raise her voice, and yet people shudder at the sight of her. I thought that was really funny. And two, I like that they give her a few human moments. The biggest one being when she's talking to Andy about her divorce when she's in the robe without her makeup on, and you can see tears. Like I said, the characters aren't one note, and they could have so easily been, and so I really liked that. The story is fairly standard and falls into a lot of cliches that you'd expect to see. Some of them work, but some of them were kinda lame. Like, I know we inevitably have to reach the "what have you become" moment, but not only were some of the steps getting there kinda clunky, but adding in a love triangle with the hot, sexy journalist who makes advances at Andy felt kind of forced. Also, I'm not sure I really followed what the ending was meant to be. Was it just kind of a profit trumps integrity kind of thing? Because it was also very shoddily explained and executed. But again, it just felt like a quick way to have Andy reach her come to Jesus moment, so I guess it worked fine. The movie has a relatively frenetic pace in how it was edited and how its comedy was portrayed, but it knew when to slow down. Some scenes worked better than others, the music was pretty solid. I don't have much else to say. I thought it was fine. It was perfectly serviceable and mildly enjoyable. It's one of a small group of chick flicks that has something for everyone, and it's also somewhat of a time capsule of the mid-2000s and that type of movie, which makes me kinda curious how the sequel is gonna work. Like, Freakier Friday tried to mesh sort of the early 2000s-ness of Freaky Friday with a modern angle and sense of humor, but that was a bit more exaggerated, so it could kind of get away with it. Devil Wears Prada is slightly more grounded, so I don't know if those styles will mesh as well. But we'll see what happens, I guess. Ultimately, I thought the movie was fine. It's worth checking out. I probably don't need to see it again, but I'd say give it a watch at least once. So going to my ranking, I'd give The Devil Wears Prada a 3.5 out of 5. And that does it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments, what do you think of The Devil Wears Prada? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What's your favorite chick flick? And are you excited to see the sequel? Let me know all that stuff down below. I've got more videos coming real soon, but until then, be sure to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on what I'm posting. Follow me on my social media, subscribe to my main channel. Everything you need to know will be in the description. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.